English for travel and work. Real-life situations made easy. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You've just landed in a new country. You step off the plane, heart beating fast. Signs are everywhere, in English. You walk toward the check-in counter at your hotel, but your mind freezes. What do you say? How do you ask for your room without getting lost in the words? Or picture this. You're sitting in a meeting at work. Everyone is sharing their opinions. The room is buzzing with ideas. You want to speak up, but you hesitate. What if you make a mistake? What if they don't understand you? Or maybe it's a doctor's office. You don't feel well. You want to explain your symptoms, but the words don't come out. These moments are real. They happen every day. And for many learners, they are the scariest part of speaking English. But here's the truth. You don't need big, perfect sentences. You just need short, clear words and the courage to use them. In this episode, I'll take you through 9 real-life stories, from booking a hotel room, to passing through the airport, to surviving a tough meeting at work, even resolving conflicts and making new friends by talking about movies. Each story will give you simple phrases you can use right away and the confidence to connect, no matter where you are. My name is Larry. I'm a master coach and NLP trainer, the founder of 3D English. For over 10 years, I've helped students around the world speak with clarity, courage, and heart. And today, I'll be your guide. So take a deep breath, because by the end of this episode, you won't just learn English phrases, you'll carry with you a gift, a challenge that will make English part of your life this week. Let's begin our journey at the hotel. Part 1. Hotel reservations. Imagine this. You arrive at your destination. The city lights shine outside, your suitcase rolls behind you, and finally, you step into the hotel lobby. The receptionist looks up, smiles, and says, "Good evening. How can I help you?" In that moment, everything depends on just a few simple words. You don't need long sentences. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need clarity. Here are some key phrases you can use. Hello, I'd like to book a room for 2 nights. I have a reservation under your name. Is breakfast included? Could I have a room with a view, please? Short, clear, polite. That's enough. Let me tell you a story. 2 of my students, May and Carlos, once traveled to Paris. It was their first time abroad. They worried a lot about hotel check-in. May kept practicing in her head. Reservation, reservation, reservation. When they finally arrived, she stepped up to the desk, smiled, and said softly, "Hello, I have a reservation under Maylene." The receptionist found her booking right away, gave her the key, and even said, "Your English is very good." Do you know what happened next? May's fear disappeared. She realized she didn't need to be perfect. She just needed to be polite and clear. So here's my challenge for you. This week, practice saying one hotel phrase out loud. Even if you're not traveling, stand in front of a mirror and try, "Hello, I have a reservation under your name." Feel how natural it becomes after a few tries. Because when the moment comes, when you're really there at the hotel desk, those words will flow. Now, you've checked in, you've dropped your bags, and you're ready to catch your flight to the next city. But airports can feel like a maze. So how do you find your way in English? That's our next story. Part 2. Airport procedures. Now picture this. The airport. It's huge, full of voices, announcements echoing. people rushing with bags. You're holding your passport, your ticket, and inside your head, you're asking, where do I go? What do I say? Here's the truth. Airports are full of English words, but you only need a few simple ones to move smoothly. At the check-in counter, you can say, "Good morning. I have a flight to New York under the name, your name. Could you help me with seat selection? Aisle, please. Could you confirm my luggage allowance?" Later, when you're looking for your gate, try, "Excuse me, where is gate 12? How long until boarding?" These phrases are short, polite, and powerful. Let me tell you a story. One of my students, Rena, flew alone for the first time. She was terrified. At the counter, her hands shook, but she remembered one phrase. "I have a flight under the name Rena Sato." She said it slowly, clearly. The agent smiled, checked her passport, and handed her the boarding pass. Then, with courage, she asked, "Could you please tell me the boarding gate?" The agent pointed the way, and Rena walked off feeling 10 times taller. Here's the magic. One clear sentence gave her the power to navigate the whole airport. So here's my challenge for you. Next time you travel, or even when you imagine traveling, practice these short airport phrases. Say them out loud. Pretend you're at the counter. Because when the day comes, you'll feel calm, confident, and ready. Now, after the flight, you land safely. The next morning, you're sitting in the office. The meeting begins. Everyone is speaking English. How do you join the discussion? That's our next story. Part 3. Office Work Discussions. Imagine this. It's Monday morning. You're sitting in a bright office, coffee in hand. The meeting begins. Everyone is talking fast, sharing ideas, debating, throwing numbers on the screen. You want to join in, but the words feel heavy on your tongue. Here's the secret. You don't need big speeches. Just one clear sentence can bring you into the conversation. Some useful phrases are, "I think the project is going well. I see your point, but I have a different perspective. Could you clarify that, please?" Short, simple, professional. Let me share a story. Maria, a student of mine from Brazil, worked in an international company. At her first team meeting, she stayed silent. Later, she told me, "Larry, I understood, but I didn't know what to say." So we practiced. Just one line. I think we're on track. At the next meeting, she raised her hand, smiled, and said it. The room nodded. The manager said, "Good point, Maria." And just like that, Maria became part of the conversation. But let me tell you about another student, Daniel, a young intern in London. One day, his manager presented a new marketing idea. Everyone seemed to agree, but Daniel wasn't sure. He wanted to ask more, yet he felt nervous. Finally, he whispered, "Could you clarify that, please? I want to understand better." The manager paused, smiled, and explained more clearly. After the meeting, a senior colleague told him, "That was a smart question. It shows you're paying attention. And here's the lesson. You don't have to speak a lot to make an impact. One thoughtful sentence can change how people see you. So here's my challenge for you. In your next meeting, or even in a study group, try one simple sentence. It could be agreement, a polite question, or a short opinion. You don't need to say much. You just need to show up with your voice. Now, sometimes at work or school, you don't understand everything. You feel lost. What do you do then? That's our next story. Now, sometimes at work or school, you don't understand everything. You feel lost. What do you do then? That's our next story. Part 4. Asking for help at work or school. Picture this. You're sitting at your desk at work, or maybe in a classroom after a lecture. The assignment or project in front of you looks confusing. You know what you want to do, but you're not sure how. Many learners freeze in that moment, afraid to look weak. But here's the truth. Asking for help is not a weakness. It's a strength. In English, the simplest, clearest requests are the most powerful. Phrases like, "Excuse me, could you help me with this? I'm having some difficulty. Could you explain it again? I'm not sure I understand. Could you clarify?" Short, polite, direct. These are your tools. Let's step into a real story. Imagine a student named Maria. She's in her first semester at an American university. Her professor speaks quickly, and she misses part of the lecture about an upcoming essay. Instead of panicking, she takes a deep breath, raises her hand, and says, "Excuse me, I didn't quite understand the instructions. Could you repeat the part about the essay topics?" The professor smiles and explains again. After class, two classmates thank her because they were confused too, but didn't dare to ask. Maria's courage didn't just help herself, it helped the whole room. Now shift to the workplace. John is in a team meeting. His manager assigns tasks and says, "I want this report finished by end of day tomorrow." But John isn't sure what format is expected. He could stay silent, risk doing it wrong, and waste hours. Instead, he speaks up. "Could you clarify which format you'd like the report in?" His manager answers in 2 seconds. That one question saves John hours of work and shows his professionalism. See the pattern? Asking for help is about respect. Respect for your time, for the other person's time, and for the quality of the work. Here's your mini challenge. Think of one situation, at work, in class, or even at home, where you felt confused but stayed silent. How could you transform that moment using one of today's phrases? Maybe, "Could you say that again, please?" Or, "Can you help me understand this part?" Write it down. Practice saying it out loud. The more you rehearse, the more natural it will feel when the real moment comes. Because here's the secret. Asking for help doesn't make you smaller. It makes you bigger. It shows courage, curiosity, and commitment. And in English, those qualities shine through every simple, polite sentence. Because here's the secret. Asking for help doesn't make you smaller. It makes you bigger. It shows courage, curiosity, and commitment. And in English, those qualities shine through every simple, polite sentence. Now, speaking of situations where clarity really matters, what about when your health is on the line? In our next part, we'll step into the doctor's office, and you'll see how just a few phrases can give you confidence in one of life's most stressful situations. Stay with me. Part 5. Health and Doctor's Visit. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt sick in a new country, far from home? It's not just the headache or the sore throat that makes you nervous. It's the question in your mind. How do I explain this in English? Here's the truth. Health conversations don't need big words. In fact, the simpler, the better. Let's walk into a story together. Imagine a traveler named David. He's visiting London for the first time. On his third day, he wakes up with a fever and a terrible sore throat. He's worried. But instead of staying silent, he walks into a clinic and says politely, "Hello, I don't feel well. I have a sore throat and a fever." Simple, clear. The receptionist understands immediately and calls a doctor. When the doctor meets him, she asks, "What seems to be the problem?" David repeats, "I have a sore throat. It hurts when I swallow. I also feel weak, that's all he needs to say. The doctor nods, checks his throat, takes his temperature, and prescribes medicine. David didn't need fancy vocabulary, just honesty, simplicity, and calm. Now, let's shift to a student named Anna. She lives in New York, away from her family. One morning before class, she feels dizzy. Instead of ignoring it, she goes to the campus health center. The nurse asks, "How do you feel today?" Anna says, "I feel tired and lightheaded." I don't know why the nurse asks follow-up questions. How long have you been feeling this way? Do you have any other symptoms? Anna answers clearly, and soon she has the support she needs. Do you see the pattern? Health conversations follow a rhythm. 1. State the problem simply. I don't feel well. 2. Describe 1 or 2 symptoms. I have a cough. I feel very tired. 3. Answer follow-up questions honestly. And remember, it's always okay to ask for help with words themselves. If you don't know how to say something, you can ask, "How do I say this in English?" Or, "Could you explain that again, please?" Doctors and nurses expect this. They want you to understand. Here's a practical tip. Write down 3 sentences you might need at a clinic. For example, here's a practical tip. Write down 3 sentences you might need at a clinic. For example, I need to see a doctor, please. I have a headache and a fever. Do I need to take medicine for this? Practice them out loud. Keep them in your phone. Next time you're traveling, you'll feel safer knowing you can communicate in any health situation. And here's the bigger lesson. Talking about health in English is not just about symptoms. It's about self-care, courage, and trust. You deserve to feel safe, no matter where you are in the world. Now, once your health is taken care of, what comes next? Planning your days, weekends, and even trips with confidence. In the next part, we'll explore how to make clear plans in English and how a few simple phrases can open doors to new adventures. Stay with me. Part 6. Planning your day, weekend, and trips. Think about this. Every great day starts with a plan. Whether it's something small, like deciding what to eat for lunch, or something big, like a weekend trip or a family vacation, planning gives us direction. And in English, planning conversations are some of the most common and useful you will ever have. Let me tell you a story. Emily is a busy college student. The night before class, she looks at her planner. She packs her bag, chooses her outfit, and writes, "Tomorrow, library at 9 a.m., class at 11, group project meeting at 3. In the morning, when her roommate asks, "What's your plan for today?" Emily answers clearly, "I'm going to the library first, then class, then a group meeting." Simple sentences, clear structure. Planning her day not only keeps her organized, it gives her confidence when talking about her schedule in English. Now let's move to the weekend. Mark and his friends want to do something fun. On Friday night, one of them asks, "What are your plans for the weekend?" Mark replies, "I'm planning a picnic at the park." "I'll bring sandwiches and juice," his friend adds. "I can bring fruit salad." Another says, "I'll bring a blanket." Notice how easy it is? With a few simple phrases. I'll bring. I'm planning to. The group builds a plan together. But planning isn't only about daily life. It's also about dreams and adventures. Let's picture a couple, Sarah and Tom. They're sitting at the kitchen table looking at travel websites. Sarah says, "I'd like to go to Italy this summer. What do you think?" Tom replies, "I'd love that. Do we want the beach or the city?" They compare options, hotels, flights, activities. Sarah says, "Let's book a hotel near the center. We can walk to the museums," Tom adds, "and maybe a day trip to the countryside." By the end of the evening, they have a vacation plan. Notice again, short, polite, clear sentences make even big dreams possible. But planning isn't only about daily life. It's also about dreams and adventures. Let's picture a couple, Sarah and Tom. They're sitting at the kitchen table looking at travel websites. Sarah says, "I'd like to go to Italy this summer. What do you think?" Tom replies, "I'd love that. Do we want the beach or the city?" They compare options, hotels, flights, activities. Sarah says, "Let's book a hotel near the center. We can walk to the museums," Tom adds, "and maybe a day trip to the countryside." By the end of the evening, they have a vacation plan. Notice again, short, polite, clear sentences make even big dreams possible. Here's something important. Planning in English is not just about making schedules, it's about connecting with people. When you ask, "Do you want to join me?" or "What are your plans this weekend?" you're opening the door to friendship. When you say, "I'd like to go hiking, would you like to come?" you're building memories. Now, your turn. Take a moment and plan something. Today, tomorrow, or even your next vacation. Write one simple sentence in English. Tomorrow, I'm going shopping. This weekend, I'm visiting my parents. Next summer, I want to travel to Japan. Say it out loud. Planning is not only about organizing your time, it's about practicing English in real life. And speaking of real life, there's one thing we always talk about in our daily lives, whether at work, at school, or just chatting with a neighbor. That's the weather. In the next part, we'll explore how such a simple topic can open doors to deeper connections. Don't miss it. Part 7. Talking about the weather. Let me start with a question. How many times have you heard someone say, "Nice weather today, isn't it?" It may sound simple, but weather is one of the most powerful tools for starting conversations. Why? Because everyone experiences it. It's universal. Picture this. Anna has just moved into a new apartment. She sees her neighbor watering plants on the balcony. She feels shy, but she wants to say hello. Instead of staying silent, she smiles and says, "It's a beautiful day today, isn't it?" The neighbor smiles back. "Yes, sunny and warm, perfect for gardening." And just like that, a friendship begins, with one simple comment about the weather. Here's another story. James is waiting for the bus. Next to him, a stranger is checking the sky. James decides to break the silence. "Looks like it might rain later. Do you have an umbrella?" The stranger laughs. "I hope not. I forgot mine." They both laugh, and suddenly the wait feels shorter. Talking about the weather is not just small talk, it's connection. It's showing that you notice the world around you and you're willing to share that moment with another person. Talking about the weather is not just small talk, it's connection. It's showing that you notice the world around you and you're willing to share that moment with another person. Let's look at the language. Asking is simple. "What's the weather like today?" "Is it going to rain tomorrow?" "Is it cold outside?" And describing is just as easy. "It's sunny and warm." "It's freezing, you should wear a jacket." "It's so windy today." "I heard it's going to snow tomorrow." Simple sentences, clear pictures, but weather also shapes our plans. Remember Emily from earlier? She planned a picnic with friends, but on Saturday morning, the forecast shows rain. She texts her group, "It looks like rain today. How about moving the picnic to Sunday?" Everyone agrees, and the plan is saved. all thanks to one weather update. Or think of travelers. Imagine Lisa at the airport, checking in for her flight. She asks, "What's the weather like in Chicago today?" The agent answers, "Cold and snowy. Make sure you have a warm coat." That one piece of information changes Lisa's experience completely. Now here's your challenge. Try it today. Look at the sky. Then make one sentence in English. It's sunny. It's cloudy. It's hot. Say it out loud. If you meet someone, share it with them. You'll be surprised how one comment about the weather can open the door to a longer conversation. And here's the deeper lesson. Talking about the weather is not about the temperature or the clouds. It's about connection. It's about starting with something small and letting it grow into something bigger. Speaking of growing, what about hobbies and interests? The things we love to do in our free time are not only fun to share, but also powerful conversation starters. In the next part, we'll dive into how hobbies can bring people together, and how talking about them in English can transform your confidence. Stay tuned. Part 8. Hobbies and Interests. Let me ask you something. What do you love to do when no one is telling you what to do? That's your hobby. That's your passion. And here's the magic. When you talk about it, your English becomes alive, full of energy. Let me ask you something. What do you love to do when no one is telling you what to do? That's your hobby. That's your passion. And here's the magic. When you talk about it, your English becomes alive, full of energy. Take Sarah, for example. She's at a party where she doesn't know many people. Someone asks her, "So what do you like to do in your free time?" Sarah smiles. "I love painting. I usually paint landscapes on weekends." The other person replies, "Really? I enjoy photography. Maybe I can show you some of my pictures." Suddenly, the two are no longer strangers. They're connected through art. Or imagine Alex in the office break room. A colleague asks, "Did you do anything fun this weekend?" Alex says, "Yes, I went hiking in the mountains. It was a long trail, but the view at the top was amazing." His colleague lights up. "No way. I love hiking too. Which trail did you take?" A simple hobby, shared in a few sentences, creates friendship at work. The language of hobbies is simple, but powerful. Here are a few questions you can use. What do you like to do in your free time? Do you have any hobbies? What are you interested in? And here are some answers. I like reading books. I enjoy playing soccer. I love cooking new recipes. I'm really interested in photography. Notice the words. Like, enjoy, love, interested in. These are your golden keys. But hobbies are not just for small talk. They shape our routines, our weekends, our personal growth. Take James. He used to feel shy about speaking English, but then he started talking about his garden, about tomatoes, flowers, and soil. Because he loved the topic, he forgot his fear. He practiced new words with joy. Little by little, his confidence grew, just like his plants. Here's another story. Maria bakes cookies every Christmas Eve with her family. It's their tradition. When she shares this story with her English class, everyone leans in. Food, family, love, it's more than just a hobby. It's her identity. Now here's your challenge. Think of one hobby you enjoy. Maybe it's watching movies, playing guitar, running, or even just walking in the park. Say one sentence in English about it. I love playing the guitar. I love playing the guitar. I enjoy watching comedy shows. I like running in the park on weekends. Say it out loud. Smile when you say it. Feel the joy. Because when you talk about your hobbies, people don't just hear your words. They feel your passion, and passion is contagious. It creates connection. It makes your English unforgettable. Now, once you've shared your hobbies, conversations naturally move to another favorite topic: movies and TV shows. In the next part, we'll explore how talking about the stories we watch can not only improve your English, but also connect you to others in a powerful way. Don't miss it. Part 9, Movies and TV Shows. Let me ask you this. Have you ever walked into school or the office, and the very first question someone asks is, "Hey, did you see that movie last night?" Movies and TV shows are more than entertainment. They're a bridge. They give us stories, emotions, and common ground to share with others. Take Lisa, for example. She's new at work and feels nervous about making friends. During lunch, one colleague asks, "Have you seen the new episode of that comedy series?" Lisa smiles shyly. "Yes, I watched it last night. It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing." Instantly, the group lights up. Everyone starts sharing their favorite scenes. By the end of lunch, Lisa is no longer the new person. She's part of the circle. Here's another story. Tom and his girlfriend Emily are tired after a long day. Instead of going out, they decide to stay in and watch a movie. Tom says, "How about a comedy?" Emily replies, "Perfect. We need something light tonight." As the movie plays, they laugh together. The stress of the day melts away. Movies don't just entertain. They heal, they connect, they create memories. Now let's look at the language. Starting a conversation about movies is simple. You can ask, "Have you seen any good movies recently?" "What are you watching these days?" "Do you like action films or comedies?" And when you answer, keep it short and clear. "I saw an action movie. The story was exciting. I'm watching a new series on Netflix. It's really funny. I love science fiction movies." Notice how easy it is? These short sentences are perfect for small talk, and they often lead to longer conversations. Notice how easy it is? These short sentences are perfect for small talk, and they often lead to longer conversations. But here's the secret. Movies and TV shows are not just topics for small talk. They're tools for learning English. When you watch with subtitles, you connect the sounds to the words. When you repeat lines out loud, you practice natural rhythm and tone. When you watch familiar shows, like a comedy or cartoon, you understand more, and you start to think in English. Let's go back to James, the student who loved gardening. To improve his English, he started watching cooking shows. Why? Because food was another passion of his. He picked up phrases like "chop the onions" and "stir gently." He didn't just learn English, he learned it through joy. That's the power of movies and TV. Now here's your challenge. Tonight, choose one show or movie in English. Watch for 10 minutes. Listen carefully. Pause once or twice and repeat a line out loud. Then, tomorrow, tell a friend, "I watched a movie last night. It was exciting, simple, real, powerful." And here's the bigger truth. Stories connect us. When we talk about them, we don't just practice English. We share laughter, excitement, even tears. Next, we'll talk about another kind of story: technology. The tools that shape our daily lives, from smartphones to social media, and how they both connect and challenge us. Stay with me. Part 10. Technology. Think about it. When was the last time you spent a whole day without your phone? Hard to remember, right? Technology, our phones, computers, apps, has become part of every moment. And because it's everywhere, Talking about technology in English is both common and useful. Let's start with Mia. She just bought a new smartphone. At lunch, her friend asks, "How's the new phone?" Mia replies, "It's great. The camera is amazing, and it's really fast." A simple answer, but now her friend wants to know more. "Can you show me some pictures?" Suddenly, a short comment about technology turns into a lively conversation. Here's another story. Daniel is visiting his grandparents. They start sharing stories about life before technology. His grandfather says, "When I was young, we didn't have smartphones. We wrote letters." Daniel smiles and replies, "Now I can send a message across the world in 1 second." Two generations, two different worlds, connected by a conversation about technology. So what's the language we use here? Asking about technology is simple. Do you use social media? What apps do you like? What apps do you like? Do you prefer iPhone or Android? Answering is just as easy. I use Instagram every day. I like listening to podcasts on Spotify. I prefer Android because the battery lasts longer. But technology is more than gadgets. It changes how we live and talk. Let's look at John in the office. During a meeting, his internet connection drops. Instead of panicking, he says, "Sorry, my connection is weak. Could you please repeat that?" Simple, polite, effective. Technology failed, but communication saved the moment. Technology also helps us learn. Remember Maria, who loved baking? She started following English cooking videos on YouTube. Each recipe taught her not just food vocabulary, but also real-life phrases. She learned words like mix, boil, serve. Technology became her classroom. Here's something important. Technology connects us, but it can also separate us. Picture a family dinner where everyone is looking at their phone. No one is talking. That's when we remember. Technology is a tool. We choose whether it builds connection or creates distance. Now, your challenge. Think of one piece of technology you use every day. Maybe your phone, your laptop, or your smartwatch. Say one sentence in English about it. I use my phone to stay in touch with my family. I listen to music on my laptop. I track my steps with my smartwatch. Say it out loud. Share it with someone. Because when you talk about technology, you're not just describing a machine. You're sharing how you live. And here's the deeper lesson. Technology will keep changing, but connection is always human. The words you use, the stories you tell, that's what makes technology meaningful. Now, as we close this episode, it's time to wrap everything together and leave you with one last gift. A recap, an invitation, and a vision for your journey. Let's move into the outro. Outro, Episode 2. So here we are, at the end of this journey together. In today's episode, we explored some of the most powerful everyday situations where English comes alive. We walked through planning your day, your weekend, and even your trips. We discovered how talking about the weather, something as simple as sunshine or rain, can open the door to connection. We dived into hobbies and interests, those passions that make us who we are, and saw how they bring people closer. We shared laughter and emotions through movies and TV shows, and finally, we explored the world of technology, the tool that connects us, challenges us, and shapes our daily conversations. So here we are, at the end of this journey together. In today's episode, we explored some of the most powerful everyday situations where English comes alive. We walked through planning your day, your weekend, and even your trips. We discovered how talking about the weather, something as simple as sunshine or rain, can open the door to connection. We dived into hobbies and interests, those passions that make us who we are, and saw how they bring people closer. We shared laughter and emotions through movies and TV shows, and finally, we explored the world of technology, the tool that connects us, challenges us, and shapes our daily conversations. What do all these moments have in common? They show us that English is not just grammar or vocabulary. English is life in action. It's the way you ask a friend about their weekend. It's the way you describe the sky to your neighbor. It's the way you share your favorite series or explain a new app to a colleague. These are not lessons in the classroom. These are real conversations in the real world. And here's the truth I want you to carry with you. You don't need perfect English to make a perfect connection. What you need is courage. The courage to say, "I like this." The courage to ask, "Could you repeat that?" The courage to share a little piece of yourself, whether it's your plan for the day, your favorite hobby, or your thoughts about the weather. Now, here's my invitation to you. This week, choose one of today's topics, planning, weather, hobbies, movies, or technology, and practice it in a real conversation. Just one sentence, just one moment, and notice how it feels when someone responds, when the conversation grows, when English becomes not just a subject, but a bridge. If you found today's episode helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Share this podcast with a friend who's also learning English. They'll thank you for it. And if you want to challenge yourself, try my 7-day English conversation challenge. Each day, you'll practice a small, simple phrase in a real-life situation. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Remember, every word you speak is a step forward. Every small conversation builds your confidence. And little by little, those small steps turn into a journey. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep practicing, keep connecting, and keep believing in your voice. I'll see you in the next episode.